Alright, hello everybody and happy Tuesday. It's A-Rye here with my realm. Oh wow, that's simply magnificent. Where is this on this? Oh, we're exploring a whole new world. Not to be confused with that Disney song. uh, that is cool. I just noticed that. But anyways, yeah, so my son decided he wanted to play Minecraft. He's like, I haven't played Minecraft in a while. I was like, well, sorry, Bubba. It's not signing in. And he's like, what do you mean it's not signing in? I was like, okay, well, adding some context. He's already such a great IT technician. He doesn't even know it. But anyways, so he's like, what do you mean not signing in? So I was like, okay, yeah, well, it's not signing into our account, so we don't have access to all of our stuff yet. It's kind of like still half signed in, so we can still get like our skins. He's like, all right, well, I want to play on the server. I was like, well, we can't get to those servers. He's talking about like the Bed Wars. I think that's what he plays. I don't know. Like he plays a bunch of those multiplayer things. Um, and he even said that he rage quit today, but like all he did is he died. He fell off the edge. It was an accident. And like he uh, he just exited the game all calmly, like moved the controller really fast for a second and set it down very gently, then stood up. And I could tell he was being serious about like I mean he wasn't pretending to be gentle. He was like pretending to be angry and stuff, and then like smoothing everything over to where nothing got damaged. Ugh. So Oh, but anyways, before all that, because that was when we got into the server, he was like, and as I was saying that, I was like, but you know what? Let's go ahead and try again because it's not all the time that he likes to play Minecraft. He's usually with the Gorilla Tag now, but big into Fortnite and Rec Room and a bunch of like interactive games where he's like interacting with a bunch of other little kiddos. So little kid, he's getting big. He's gonna be a teenager before you know it. Anyways, sorry, that's about all the information I should divulge about this. But this place, I'll tell you what. I mean, we already have several stacks of blue ice. Actually, I want to say that's already all the ice that I made. But yeah, that looks like all the blue ice that I constructed. And that should be enough for, see, each map is about 2,000, I want to say. I have no idea it's like, that's the direction back up to our Endarius. I'm trying to think, like, 2 squares sounds right. 3 almost sounds even more so. Which actually that would make sense, because then that would be 6,000 at the very southern part of this. Although what bothers me, oh, that's cool. You can see a ruined portal under the ice. Dangerous too. You could get sucked down there. Um, but no, it's always bothered me that it goes positive when you go south. Like that just seems like it should be negative if you're going by a normal XY axis like graph, and you're thinking like algebra 1, algebra 2, and geometry. Like I think that's how we did it in high school. I mean, geometry was geometry, but we did do some of like the graphing for triangles and to prove that. Um, yeah. So we're just exploring. But this is a ton of ice. This is good to know. This is like almost entire map so far, except for with the exception of that tiny little corner which you can't see. There we go. Because of my health stuff, which turns opaque. I love that. I'm so glad I found that because it was kind of getting annoying having the like that's one downside to console gaming with Minecraft. You see the emote, the drop, the inventory, the crafting, and there's probably a setting, and I'm probably complaining for nothing, but you know what? I'm getting older. I'm gonna start doing that. So it's gonna seem like nothing to you, but it'll make sense to other people my age. And look, more magma blocks underneath the ice. Well, let's see if I can still go to the side of it without losing. What is that? Oh, just some lights underwater lights. Yeah, looks like we're good so far. And there's still those like solid blue dots that look like the map not being revealed, but that is in fact, if you look, it's peppered throughout this area. So, anyways, political and side project news, more XApp activity. Now I'm about to get into a discussion with someone I think aligns with my political and religious beliefs, which is skeptical to none and political Democrat. But I'm still pretty much in the middle on a lot of things. And like I have a lot of buddies that are on the right side and they make a lot of sense. I mean, And well, specifically, this is about the Ukraine-Russia war, military action, whatever you want to call it, and Russia invading Ukraine. Although, after seeing the interview with Putin, I had some questions. Now, granted, since then I've watched this like a 16-minute reaction video from a guy with a Ukraine flag on his wall. Like, so okay, he's going to be biased going into it. And he didn't mention the part about Putin talking about joining NATO, and he didn't mention the part about I'm trying to remember the other one. He did a good job actually of pointing out a lot of stuff, and he even showed a bunch of questions that he says like a quote unquote good journalist should have asked. Well, Tucker, I don't know. He's good at talking to people, but what makes a good journalist? I don't know. But I think he did okay. I mean, considering that he didn't want to ask any questions that would get him thrown in the gulag or killed. There was his safety to take into consideration, but the safety of a bunch of people. And now, like if America were to get involved, then we'd have the safety of American troops. Like we don't need that. We don't need a risk to the safety of Russian troops because, not everybody remembers after World War II, Russia and America, we were pretty close. I mean, we were still like frenemies, but I don't know. And it made a lot of sense. Like, we do like to build a lot of our military stuff closer and closer. And if you think about the Cuban Missile Crisis, look how much America freaked out because Cuba agreed to have some Russian missiles there as a safety net. And then Russia doesn't want NATO to keep expanding. Like, okay, we see how big NATO is now. That's okay. We don't want to keep upping our. And he did talk about that, like upping his military. Like we had missile defense systems. I think those part of what we put in Ukraine to like stop missiles from even leaving the country. But then we freak out when Russia tries to do that with Cuba. Although Cuba, I think it was more offensive missiles than a defensive missile grid, but still, same thing. Like if you're trying to add additional defenses like right next to somebody's home, and you think they're not going to like, build more stuff just in case now. It's like, oh crud, like did I miss a memo? Like are we fighting now or also I just realized, well, we'll go this way. I'm trying to clear the map from the bottom up. I want to make sure I'm not leaving any dots. Like, I know there's some, but they look tacky when you start seeing them on the wall. I feel like you can still tell. Especially when the filters don't load, which sometimes also happens. But I think that's more just because I didn't go back in and explicitly reset the filters after they were disconnected. Because, I mean, for the last few musings, it was the old one. Oh, so anyways, so this lady, I think it's a lady, um, commented on me asking President Biden. I posted a reply on his thing with a link to I think part of the Tucker interview, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, why aren't we talking about Russia joining NATO? And this person was like, because they're not being Putin wasn't being serious, and it's like I don't know. Like, how can you tell that he was serious back in the Clinton era, a much younger Putin, which, granted, and that was part of this reaction video. What he did bring up was that Putin's been the dictator for like 20 years. I don't know about dictator. I don't honestly know enough to really have that informed of opinion. I know that you can get thrown into prison for cannabis over there, like, and at the same time, if you're an American basketball player that could cause a lot of hubbub and make a good trade, then that even makes more sense. Like, like I mean, and even here, we're still fighting to get cannabis, like, even just decriminalized, let alone legalized. Like, stop putting people in jail for weed. Like, it's just ridiculous. So, I think it was Bill Murray that has I saw a meme or a poster or something that was like, the most dangerous thing about pot is getting caught with it. And that is so true. So, anyways, so she said that Putin's full of lies and that he wasn't serious. And it's like, well, I mean, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Like during the Clinton times, and then I've seen a little monologue on a YouTube video. I don't think it's an actual short, but and it shows all the times that like America had a love affair with Putin, basically. Like, there's Obama yucking it up with him, like patting him on the shoulder, like, oh, that's a good joke, whatever he said. And he's laughing and like, and he's been around for several administrations now. Granted, that's what the guy was pointing out is like he should be taking turns, like he should only have term limits. They did set that up at once upon a time, and since then, he's had rivals that have been jailed or poisoned or what have you. And it's hard telling. Like, maybe their laws need to have a readjustment. I mean, all over, just like our country. Like, we're just now, like, checking my watch, like, now legalizing cannabis. Like, Oregon's been doing it for a while with all drugs, and, like, I think meth is still illegal there, which is fine. I mean, that stuff. Well, and actually, Breaking Bad kind of points that out, too, is like, even if you are going to do that stuff, which is horrible for you, horrible for your health, a lot of it's just because it's made all cruddy. Like, I know even that spice, it was fake weed that was sold over the counter at head shops. And there's bath salts, which is fake meth, that was also sold over the counter. It might still be some places. And it's just like these things, they're trying to work around the legalities of like, okay, well, we can't sell this substance when it's made with these chemicals, at least in this way, to where the end result is this, that it sets off the drug test. So then, they're going to think of all the ways they can get close to that to make a highly addictive substance, but make it still legal, technically. And that's another scene in Breaking Bad is Hank was talking about how meth used to be legal. You could buy it at gas stations all across the country, originally from Oregon, oddly enough. And then once people became aware of what was going on, like these people were tweaking out and driving trucks for like, 3 or 4 days on end without sleeping, causing I don't know about causing accidents. I mean, I would have to look into that to see just like the extent of the danger of it. But all it takes is a couple of people to be like, well, maybe we should reevaluate this substance, and we need the FDA to check on it and see if it's like safe to consume and find out the science behind it. You like to think, but um, I was just having another discussion with some other people on the Bernie post about how FDA well, the guy was like, "We need to abolish the FDA," and I was like, "Okay, hold on, slow down. Enough of this sledgehammer cancel culture. Like, let's just regulate this department and make sure that they're towing the line and following these rules we need to set out for them." Like, you'd like to think that people wouldn't test the waters and try to violate rules, but I mean, they're looking for wiggle room. They're humans too, and they're trying to figure out like how do we pad our pockets, fund our research, pay our employees, but at the same time, and lobbying too. Like we've talked about that a bit. Like there could be a blind side that I'm not taking into consideration to where a capitalist country would need to have lobbying. But I'm not a politician. I'm not a politics major or political science. Psychology and behavioral studies, though. No official degree, but I would like to. I'd like to get my master's in cyber. But paying attention to how that affects cybercrime and really all crime in general. Looks like we might warm up a little bit. Because it's all related. Oh, nice. An ice village. I'm liking the snow, too. It'd be nice if it would keep up. Yeah, it's like a whole icy, snowy, wintry area. Which is perfect, because I need to go put Silk Touch on another pickaxe. Hi, kitty. Oh, jumping over you. Then I can harvest ice much faster. Although it's still not terrible with this thing. Especially the packed ice. Now, the blue ice definitely takes a minute. Oh, so anyways, I forget what else that lady said, but that was basically the gist of it. Like, she responded like, "You'll believe anything, or you're gullible, or something." Like she had to make it personal, and it's like, now hold on, is that how we talk to people? Like, and what I hate is like when I get into these arguments with people from my own camp, it's like, now hold on now. Aren't we all on the same team? I mean, technically, we could be saying that with Team Earth, but then if you really think about it, and I said this in another post, are we in the peace business or the war business? Like, why aren't we trying to make peace with Russia? Why aren't we trying to like join forces with Russia against aliens? I don't know, or climate change. Like, we can develop a common enemy of that, and then turn swords to plowshares and just dismantle a bunch of our military facilities and make them produce grow units for individual households or housing units, apartment complexes, or neighborhoods. Have it to where there's more communal gardens and stuff, and more greenhouses scattered about. I've been seeing a lot more of those little mini libraries around town. And this is Fort Collins. Like, there's a bunch of neighborhoods that have the little take a book, leave a book libraries. So, I mean, not to mention we have three library locations that are all great, have a ton of stuff, and like, so. In fact, I bought a lot of books from the Front Range Library one, which doubles as a Pooter library, the district. But anyways, this is so pleasant. I like this. So, anyways, and I was against the Iraq War too. Like the whole time, Obama, that was my biggest criticism of him. I was like, you sure are killing a lot of people there, guy. I mean, it seems like every other day I'm hearing about something else, and same with my Saudi roommates. They're just like, what's going on, man? Like, what are you doing? And of course, they know it's not me personally. That's why, like, I don't know. A lot of these people are worried about people taking action and being all violent. And it's like, who are they really going to go after? And really, if we could just come to peaceful terms, they wouldn't be going after anybody. I mean, there's no reason to after that point. But like how it sounds anti-Israeli or anti-Semitic to speak out against how they're going about with Gaza. It's like, no, there's a lot of people dying, like a lot of children. I don't want to see that. Oh, and then people are quick to lash back, like, oh, you're an anti-Semite and this and that, blah blah blah, and baby out with the bathwater and just like attack somebody. I lost a friend over that, over COVID, because he was so mad at me because I didn't mask up around a friend that wasn't vaxxed. I was like, you do your risks, I'll do mine. I mean, I wasn't around any elderly people. I'm not out in public hardly ever. And even to this day, hold on. Oh, that's that drift, shuffle, sidestep. But anyways, yeah. It's like same with like the freedom of religion thing. Like you gotta respect people for how they want to act within reason. I mean, as long as it's not violating the peace, and you know, that's part of why there's such a divide. It's not just one side's guilt. There's fault on both sides. So. Also, I like that these polar bears don't attack. Just to prove it. I mean, I'll even get in between the polar bear and the kid. Push the kid around. See? Whew. Okay, sorry. You two have fun. Sorry. It's proving a point. Anyways. I mean, it makes the noise like it's going to do something, but it doesn't do it because we're in peaceful. I think if you hit it, it might. But, I don't know. It could be wrong. So, I don't know. We'll see how this discussion goes. And it's awkward because I just added a bunch of more people on the X app. I'm growing my followers and following, and I purged a lot of people, like 300 or 400 people that I was following that I didn't need. Not that I didn't need, but like for XApp, they have a ratio thing where you're right around 5,000. You can't have more than 5,000 following, or you can't be following more than 5,000 people if you don't have, like, I want to say 5,000 followers. And until you get 5,000 followers, you can't get past that cap. So I don't know. Also, I saw some rain there. That'd be sad if this turned to rain. Although kind of, but kind of not really, because rain's nice too. But like, I'm pretty excited. Like this whole map so far is like an icy paradise. With a lot of ice to harvest and not feel bad about it. No ice spikes, but that's okay. I mean, I don't think we have snow hardly anywhere else in like the other maps that I've explored. Yep, there we go. So, I don't know. I just think everybody should be on board with no more dying and no more wasted expenditures on defense. Like $800 billion. Can you, I keep saying that. Even if we just cut it in half, like, can we do that? I mean, like, take 400 billion and build like entire apartment complexes that where rent is like $200 a month. I mean, why not? Why are we doing this? Why are we putting ourselves through this nonsense? For job creation? Because that's another thing I've thought about is like why we still have such a prison industrial complex. Like and then the military industrial complex, whatever. Like the two main industries that are all bad, considered unnecessary or necessary evils. But as we end the war on drugs and like decriminalize and let people out for nonviolent substance crimes, which ironically, if we didn't impose such high fines and cause such hardships on people, a lot of the violent crimes decrease as well. And so when you look at like I don't know, criminology or the study of human behavior as it pertains to crime, like overall and how everything interacts, yeah, you can still put them in rehab, you can still put them in classes, but like make those classes affordable or free and pay for them out of the government because I mean, that's why a lot of people have such a bad time when they get in trouble. It's like once they start getting under that microscope of probation, all this other dark stuff comes out. It's like, oh, hey, you need to. Now you're going to prison. Like originally it was just a little slap on the wrist, but now, whew, we'll find something to put you away for, basically. Like, uh, meanwhile, if you're a politician or a celebrity, it's okay. Rules don't apply to you. Not nearly as much because you got money. Those penalties and fines and hardships don't make a dent. Like, you got to pay for your drug screening. All right, fine, whatever. 15 bucks a day. Yeah, I could sneeze that. Like, while meanwhile, the most average person, $15 a day when you're on minimum wage and you can't get any good jobs, that's a lot of money. So my point being is all these jobs created. That's why we need to stop talking about that so much, or at least stop having too much importance in it. At least until, sorry, I know I said that a couple times, but I could see maybe if there was like an explanation of the jobs created and like a justification. But if it's just like more prisons, especially for-profit prisons, like, holy cow, no. Come on, that's the wrong direction, and that's okay to speak out against stuff like that. It's not anti-patriotic, it's not anti-American, it's not anti-Democrat, it's or anti-Republican, Republican either, I guess. But tell you what, trickle down is a joke. The idea that you would trust business leaders to decide who to reward and who to pay what. Like, and don't get me wrong, a lot of companies do this. They reward their employees and do a good job and pay them what they deserve out of all that money that they're making. Now, some companies don't. I mean, even PepsiCo did that whole giving back charity focus. Because whether they did or didn't, I don't know. I mean, I've heard different things. Like, actually, the more I think about it, I've heard good things about Pepsi and Coke. Like people that drive for them, deliver, whatever. Like, because back when I used to work at Subway, I'd have to sign off on the deliveries, and I'd talk to the delivery driver every now and then. Like, oh yeah, it's a good gig. I mean, it's kind of weird driving all the time, but like some heavy lifting. But which working in the warehouses though, that's kind of sketchy. I mean, depending on how much, or if you're a picker, which they do that a lot of like temp or minimum wage jobs, usually for people with criminal records or on probation or whatever. You know, especially the horrible shifts. Like, I feel like that was kind of why I was on the shift I was when I was building wind turbine blades. I was on the green shift, which was the weekend. It was like Wednesday through Saturday and then Wednesday through Sunday, alternating weeks, 12 hours shifts a day. So it was like 36 hours on the short weeks and then 48 hours of the guaranteed 8-hour overtime every other week. Oh, it's insane. Literally. Oh, there's ice spikes. Very nice. Very nice. And a ruined portal. Which looks like it's kind of getting into sandstone? Or no, that might be blocks. Yeah, yeah, because I see that circle one. Like stone bricks. Ooh. Actually, you know what? I do want this. Yes. I have been collecting these things. Should be taking the magma too. Or the magma blocks because well, we just did the water elevator. Or no, that's with the soul soil or soul sand. I always mix that up. But we need the magma blocks to pull back down. So if you want the downward elevator, oh, and then there's a gold block too. And then crying obsidian just looks really cool. It's not really useful for anything that I know of, but all right. Okay, don't need that. All right. I mean, I say that, but I can go into the Nether and get plenty of that stuff. So, wait, was that all the? Yes. So now we definitely have. We almost have enough for 2 portals. Oh, actually, we are gonna need this. Mm. So, anyways, I don't know. That's why I really want to do that project, and I'm excited for my vacation because I mean, it's not going to be a Jamboard. It would be great as a Jamboard, but I might do a Google Doc that has open access and then just share the link in my videos and whatnot, and then just have like a plan, like a game plan or a blueprint for government, for a better future, for cooperation across the aisle, for clarity in our government and our laws. I mean, both clarity for current laws and then clarity for and translation, really. I mean, some of these laws and bills, or sorry, not laws, they're bills when they're being submitted and whatnot. But there's a village over there. That's so cool. But we don't really need to amass any more stuff. We're just exploring. We're about halfway done too. I mean, if you were to drop that vertical post part down, like those movie things where it's like, and action, or it's like clacks. Oh gosh. Sorry, I was like moving the mic closer because I feel like it's starting to stray. Then I might get quieter and quieter. And the quality of this mic isn't the best. I apologize. I'll try to get a better mic in the near future. Oh, I have so much stuff I want to do. I'm gonna have to take another vacation here soon. 'Cause I need to do some time, go see a buddy. Was gonna try to do that, but already booked up with a lot of stuff during my vacation. So I mean, but yeah, this project too. Like, I mean, having like a something that is editable by everyone, but at the same time, because there's version control in Google Docs, which is really awesome, and Sheets. But so you can have multiple people playing around in there and changing things, and even if they accidentally delete everything or on purpose, like, oh, I don't like what you're doing, I'm gonna delete everything. You can see who did it. I mean, I think you have to toggle something to where you like they can't be anonymous. So, or maybe that might also, oh, another ruined portal. Let's get that too. But I think part of it is like there's a setting to where you can enforce that anonymous isn't okay. But you might have to scale it back from anybody with the link has permission to see it and to edit um, to only people with the link that were sent the link. Yes. Invited, basically, is the concept there. So if you send the link to someone, if you share it with someone specifically, like say you have their email address, then that's fine. And I could, start to do stuff here. I need to get back into streaming at some point. I just haven't really been too enthusiastic about it because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, no, not like faking being happy, but like if you want to be a successful streamer, you got to put in a lot of effort. Basically, it's hard work. So plus, I'm not a good conversationalist with like a lot of people. I'm not super social. So, which was funny because actually one of my streams, my old buddy, boss, former boss, and classmate, we graduated the same day with the same degree. Um, and we're actually in a few of the same classes too, because the ACT splits off from CS. Computer science has a GPA requirement, so which I didn't fulfill at the time. I was returning to school after doing pretty poor. Oh, there's the alarm. So, anyways, we're back in the realm. Well, I guess it's a little early, but um, and yeah. So as soon as I finish this exploring this map, and I might do that off camera. Maybe I might not. Like I feel like I've already chit chatted with about as much as I need in the political area. Now this is just leisurely playing. Or I've also been playing Dark Souls Remastered, so I might go do that and kill some undead. And I just got to the part where there's a knight just wrecked me, and like, ugh. So I gotta get good, and it's cool in its own way. It's like seems ghetto going backwards. Like I mean, I was spoiled with Dark Souls 3, which the graphics are amazing, and Elden Ring, which I'm playing now with one of my buddies, and then Dark Souls 2, which looks like garbage, kind of. It's like more papery 3D, but at the same time, it's so darn fun. And so now, yeah, Dark Souls Remastered is pretty fun too. So, anyways, ta ta for now. I will see you in the next one, whatever we're doing. So, ta ta.